All right, Leo, this is your mid-December 2020 Love Tarot and Horoscope. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to pull some cards from the Angels Oracle and the Tarot. But first, let's review what's happening in the sky so you understand what's going to play out in the Tarot. The Sun, vitality and your focus, just moved into Capricorn today, December 21st. That is your sixth house, Leo. Capricorn is 6 signs past Leo. The sixth house has to do with work, routine, health, and service. So you may be reviewing a lot of those themes over the next month, but really this relates to a much bigger transit happening in your life with Saturn and Jupiter. The two heavy-hitting planets of our solar system have been camped out in Capricorn in your sixth house for quite a few years. Saturn has been there since December 2017. Jupiter has been there since December 2019. Saturn is all about lessons, hard lessons, restrictions, delay, and then Jupiter is the exact opposite type of energy where it expands, it's good luck, it's a benefic energy. When the two are sitting together, it's a push and a pull. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's a lot of review. They've been camped out in your sixth house for several years, but now, today, the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, they're finally moving out of Capricorn and into your seventh house of Aquarius. The seventh house has to do with marriage, one-on-one relationships, and legal contracts. So if you've been making the changes in the sixth house, work, routine, health, now the focus is going to start shifting to relationships for the next several years. Saturn's going to be camped out there testing your relationships for about 3 years. Jupiter, on the other hand, is the faster moving planet, and it's going to speed through Aquarius right around the May timeframe, and it's going to dip into Pisces, your 8th house of intimacy, sex, death, taxes, transformation, personal identity. It's going to dip into Pisces very briefly, and then it's going to retrograde back into Aquarius to do a review in 2021. So these themes are going to play out significantly for you all of next year. Venus, the planet of love, is sitting in Sagittarius. That is your 5th house of romance, children, fun and games. The 5th house is great for reigniting the flame if you're in a partnership or if you're single and looking. Time to get out on the apps if you can and do some networking, because this is a great time to bring in a new relationship. The one caveat with that, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter was in its fall position in Capricorn. So anything happening in Jupiter-ruled houses, Pisces, Sagittarius, the planets don't do as well. They don't deliver the gifts like they're supposed to. So, and that's because Jupiter's still paired up with Saturn. So while things might pick up on that love front, Venus is going to make some awkward angles over to Taurus. It's called a quincunx. It's a 150-degree angle. So Venus sitting in your 5th house of romance, children, fun and games, making an awkward angle over to Taurus, which is your 10th house of career. That same day, on the 21st, which is today, Venus is also going to make what's called an Antiscia aspect over to Pluto, which has been camped out in Capricorn for several years, and it's been deconstructing this 6th house of work routine, and health for the last several years. So it's going to be there until 2024. So what does this all mean with Venus? She's going to be making some awkward angles. Maybe there's some annoyances that come up with work, with routine, and you're going to have to review some of this, and frankly, it might not be very fun. So I'm going to be blunt with you. But Venus is going to be there until January 8th. Jupiter, the dispositor of Sagittarius, is going to start moving away from Saturn in Aquarius over the next several months. So it might be a little bit awkward, maybe not a lot happening on the love front, but it's there, and there's always a possibility right now. December 23rd, a couple days before Christmas, you need to watch out for aggressive energy and power dynamics. So Mars, this is where you get your ambition and your drive from, is sitting in your 9th house in Aries. So that's your higher education, your personal beliefs. This is spirituality. This is a little bit more high-minded thinking over here. And it's making this challenging aspect over to Pluto, which is in your 6th house of work. So you might be reviewing your work and routines. You know, it's the end of the year. This is the time when a lot of people start thinking about New Year's resolutions and the new year. So maybe something comes up around the 23rd, where you're going to have to really start thinking about what is your personal beliefs on working routine. Maybe you need to reassess the diet and get on a new exercise routine. That's very possible, but something might come up that really triggers you to start reviewing this. But watch out, because this is aggressive energy. Mars is the planet of war, and Pluto is the planet of the underworld. So this is covert stuff. So make sure you're taking care of your health, you're keeping up on work routines, and you're keeping up with these things, Leo, because something could creep up on you and set you off. So to give you a little context about this particular transit, Mars only rotates around the sun once every 2 years. It's a slower moving planet than Earth. It doesn't retrograde in its home sign very often. And we just went through this Mars retrograde period from September, October, and November. So that could have been a very difficult time where you're reassessing a lot of personal beliefs, whether or not you need to go get a certificate or continue on with your education or anything to that effect may have come up here, and that might be affecting work on some front or even your health. So on a larger scale, though, watch what's happening in the news on the 23rd, because the last time Mars retrograded, it was, there's 3 series that essentially happened. This point has happened 3 times. This is the last of the third. But to give you some context, in November of 1941, Mars was retrograding in its home sign of Aries. About a month later, Pearl Harbor happened. So this is what I'm talking about: covert action, aggressive energy, power dynamics. The same retrograde period happened in Aries with Mars in November of 1972. During that time, the Greek president was ousted from his seat. There wasn't any battles, but it's a transition. It's power dynamics. The last time Mars retrograded in Aries was 1988, August of 1988. The Iran-Iraq war was happening during that time. 50,000 Kurds were killed by chemical agents. So, and the thing that's interesting with that is Mars was making a hard aspect over to nebulous Neptune, and Neptune is associated with cloudiness, haziness, confusion. So you can see the correlation between a chemical agent and nebulous Neptune. Another interesting thing that happened in 1988 that you're seeing on the news as of today has to do with the Pan Am bombing, and there's litigation that's now coming up with that. So that happened around the same time in 1988. So you can see where there's aggressive things happening in the world right now, and this does translate to our personal lives. So my advice to you, Leo, is don't engage in this type of behavior. Be aware that things might creep up, but always remember that you are in control of your emotions and your reactions. So at the end of the day, you have control about how this turns out. If you engage, it doesn't end well. As if that wasn't enough. We're going to end the year on a full moon in Cancer. So that's going to be on December 30th. Cancer is your 12th house. Cancer is 12 signs past Leo. The 12th house is, it's a time of rest. It deals with the subconscious, but it's also ostensibly the house of the universe for it to correct anything that it needs correcting. It's a house of karma. It's a house of endings. So be aware of that. Full moons bring in endings. Full moons bring illumination. So, it could be anything in the 12th house. This is the universe correcting anything and making course corrections. So, and Cancer, the moon rules Cancer. So this is going to be a potent full moon. And it also has to do with home, family, and the mother. So be aware of that, Leo. The last day could be an intense one. So if you can take some time off for yourself, that would be great. Yeah, so Jupiter and Saturn in your 7th of marriage and partnerships, that's a big one. That will shake things up. That will bring new people into your life, and that will take people out. So be aware of that. Saturn is the taskmaster, so anything not built on a solid foundation probably isn't going to last. Venus in the 5th, that can be good, but right now it's hindered because of Jupiter, and it's right next to Saturn. So there's possibilities here, but more than likely you're reviewing some things, cleaning up some karmic sludge, so to speak. And be sure to watch what's happening on the 23rd. That's 2 days from now. Mars is going to exactly square Pluto. It's coming up on 1 degree right now, so you might be feeling this energy, but you have to really resist the urge to engage in any type of arguments, power dynamics, and this deals with, work, routine, health, and your beliefs. So something might be challenged here. And Leo, we know that you you can be vocal about things when you're upset. So just don't engage. That firepower is out there. All right, Leo, let's pull some cards from the Angels Oracle. Let's see what's happening, and then we'll clarify with the Tarot. Here we go. By the way, this is a general reading. The messages will not resonate with all of you. Take a look at your rising sign, your Venus, and your moon. Sometimes those signs will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. All right, here we go. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. All right. Yeah, Leo, that Cancer full moon is going to bring up some things. Things can come back from the past. It's a great time for healing too, but be aware. The 12th house is about clearing out karmic debts and debris. So debts owed to you and debts owed to others. So some healing energy is needed here. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So maybe you're a little bit down in the dumps right now. Let's do some clarification with the Tarot. I'm going to give this one more shuffle. Yeah, forgiving and learning, that's a big one. We know that the Leo ego can be easily bruised, but it's essential for you, Leo, to forgive and learn from mistakes and don't repeat them. All right, let's see what the Tarot has to say. The Emperor, this is Aries. Mars is in Aries. This is your 9th house of higher beliefs. Maybe you're being challenged right now. 6 of Cups, that's the ex, something from the past. The Lovers. Seven of Cups, got the 6 and the 7. 4 Wands, that's nice. And the Queen of Cups, all right. All right, Leo. So the immediate future is telling you to learn to forgive. As you release and heal, you experience more love in the future, and you got to stay optimistic too. So maybe things aren't so great on the love front right now. Like I said, Venus sitting in Sag, she just doesn't have full power like she usually does. So, but let's take a look here. So learning to forgive, you could very well be dealing with an Aries. This is a person on his throne, can be a little authoritative at times and not willing to bend. Aries is impulsive. They can be hard to lock down. I have a feeling you're dealing with an Aries type energy, someone who it's their way or the highway type energy. But this is probably also you needing to stand in your power too and learning how to forgive. And the 6 is definitely something from the past, something that needs to be healed here. This is a healing card, but it represents things from the past, and it's a decision. So here's the Lovers. I mean, this is a decision about forgiving and learning to forgive your hurt so you can bring in that new love. By staying optimistic and positive thinking. Leo, you are a positive sign. So, when I see this, that makes me a little bit concerned. So maybe you need to clean up something with health. Maybe you got to clean up something with work. Reevaluating, you're going to be reevaluating your seventh house of one-on-one relationships for the next few years. So Saturn can be very heavy energy. It's the taskmaster. It's karma. It's going to clear out things that are not meant for you. So you need to stay positive, and you are a positive person. Your ruling sign is the sun. So it's hard for you to really get down. So if you are, it's time to recharge. And I think right now you're a little bit confused. This is the confusion card. This is getting lost in options. This is, take a look at the cups here. Not all of them are great. Some have a wreath, some have a snake. You got to be careful here. If you're reviewing options and which way to go, if you're in a relationship and you're not sure something's going to work, be careful, because not every option is going to be good for you. But by remaining positive and clearing out the karmic sludge, especially around the 30th, whatever that brings up with that full moon, there's some positive things that can come from that, because you got the 4 here, which is happy home, happy marriage, right? Jupiter's gonna be cruising through that 7th house of yours. So if you're single and you're thinking about multiple people, I would say slow down. If you've been hurt in the past and you got an ex that's coming back here, they're an ex for a reason. Don't go back. Stay optimistic. Find, start the new journey. But right now it looks like you're clouded. The clouds will clear. As Saturn moves on, as Jupiter moves on from Saturn, things will become more clear. But you got to wait. And you got the happy card coming to you. And this very well could be Cancer coming your way, Pisces, or a Scorpio. This is water. It's the Queen of Cups. She's emotionally intelligent. She's extremely nurturing. This is Cancer too. So, I think you're going to hear some news. You're going to hear some news around the 30th. I mean, the Cancer full moon is a potent one. And you're going to have some decisions to make. Some decisions will lead to happiness. By learning to forgive and forget. Clearing out the karmic sludge. Staying optimistic. Waiting for the clouds to clear. You don't want to rush into this one. You want this to unfold naturally. But if you're dealing with an ex, no, there's some healing that needs to be done there, Leo. But and you gotta stand in your power. Stand in your power. If it's an Aries here, right? Aries and Leo get along. You're both fire signs, but this is asking you to stay positive, because good things are coming your way. You got offers. You got someone coming in here that's going to be emotionally fulfilling for you. But the choice is yours with the Lovers. Do you face the hard realities of the past and let it go? Or are you going to continue down the cycle? You're going to continue down the cycle and allow your judgment to be clouded. I think you know. Let's pull one more card for the outcome. Ooh, Judgment. Yeah, you're going to make a decision. We just talked about that. This is good. I think you're going to go down the new path. I think you're going to stay optimistic. I think you're going to heal yourself. Learn to forgive yourself too. You don't have to be so hard on yourself all the time. That's a Leo thing. Very hard on themselves when things don't go right. Realize that's everyone's lesson, right? Got to forgive yourself. But the decision here is to start anew. I think you're going down the right path, Leo. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, click that like button. We're going to do an in-depth 2021 analysis of what you can expect for the upcoming year. So take a look at that. And until next time, have a nice holiday, and we'll talk to you soon.